Okay, I will turn it over to you.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our very first episode of our DHH Power Hour. My name is Brooke Montgomery. I am the parent of a child who is deaf, and I work with Kentucky Hands and Voices. And if you don't already know, at Kentucky Hands and Voices, we have a program called the DHH Hero Program. And we have 29 deaf and hard of hearing adults across the state that have signed up to volunteer to meet our families and interact with our families at events and do things like tonight and answer parent questions. So our heroes use a wide range of communication modes, just like our families do. And each of the heroes has their own superhero trading card that you can collect when you attend our events. So we're excited to get to ask some questions and get to know some of our very own DHH heroes. So without further ado, I want to welcome our two heroes for tonight. I have with me Valegro and Perseverance, also known as Jenna and Matt White. Welcome, you guys. Because we don't have a lot of time, I'm going to jump right in with some questions. At the end, we will have 15 minutes or so. I'll open up to questions from the parents in our group tonight. So if you think of anything along the way, you can drop that into the chat box, and Sarah is going to collect those and get those to me. So our first question is about your superhero card. So I'm going to share your superhero card. All right. So the first question then is, you chose your own superhero name. So I just wanted you to kind of tell me why you chose the name that you chose.
The sport that I enjoy being part of is called dressage. It's a discipline in horse riding where you do a lot of movements, but you have to be done in a very correct way. It's very tough. Not really enjoying it. That's what I'm part of. And Valegro is one of the best dressage horses out there. He's now retired, and he's one of my favorites. So I chose his name.
I picked my Perseverance because of my recent experience of graduating college. My parents didn't want me to go to RIT for other reasons. I can explain that later, but I persevered, I graduated, and I found who I am as a person through college.
Very cool. So the next question I had was, what kind of hobbies do you have? And I think Jenna, you touched on it a little bit, but if you could kind of share what kind of things do you guys like to do?
Lately, we have started to hike more, probably because of COVID. But before COVID, we still like to hike, not as much. And we like to, I guess it is word, kayak.
Yeah.
Kayak. We bought 4 this year. So the kids, we have 2 kids, and us can go. So we live like on the Elkhorn Creek. I mean, it's just right there. So we're really excited, looking forward to doing that. We like to go boating with his family. I guess outdoor stuff. And we just went to Florida for spring break, and the kids and I, and well, all 4 of us were outside playing in the sand, in the water. It was cold, but yeah. So I guess outside stuff is a lot about it.
Like you said, everything outdoor, but I also like dirt bikes, off-road, things like that.
Your hero card, the picture.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Very cool. So one of the questions that parents sometimes ask when their child is first diagnosed is if their child will enjoy music. Is that something that you guys, do you like music, and what kind of music do you like to listen to?
I love music. It's something I listen to every day at work, on the commute to work and home, and in my shop when I'm working on things. I like rock and pop.
Rock and pop.
I'm not very musically inclined, so I mean I do listen some, but I'm not like him. I'm not a fan. So I mean I do enjoy especially when I was to college or a teenager. I did enjoy dancing in clubs, but I'm not like him.
What about movies?
I'm not big on TV either.
I watch a little bit of TV with documentaries, things like that, just cool things that happened in the past. That's all. I guess I kind of like history.
Yeah, I do like some movies, every really big, good ones I watch, but I guess I'm a nerd or something.
Not a nerd. Not a nerd. So since you cannot hear, we're talking about superheroes. Are your other senses stronger because you can't hear?
Yep. Yep. Vision.
Vision, a little bit of feel. Yeah,
Yeah, feel too. Yeah.
yeah,
Taste, no, smell, not really.
right.
But vision and feel, yeah.
So that leads me to my next question. One of the things that I've been asked is, can deaf people drive? Are they good drivers? So you mentioned that you have maybe some heightened visual abilities. So tell me a little bit about what it's like to drive.
Really, in general, he is a better driver than me. But deaf people, or it has been found that deaf people have better driving skills because we're more observant. It has nothing to do how much you can see in your eyesight. No, it's just we are more observant. We just notice things more easier than hearing people.
Let's see, what do I want to ask next? So the fun stuff. You guys are married. So tell me a little bit about what that was like as far as meeting, dating, getting married.
It's your turn.
Okay. We actually knew each other growing up, but not really personally. We just knew of each other. And I actually met her in high school. Need to back up a little bit. We actually met in middle school, mainstream middle school. We didn't really talk to each other back then. We really started talking to her in high school, and just asked her out on a date, and the rest is history. I mean, that's pretty quick.
We live in the same home district. We went to our home district schools, and we just happen to live the same area. So it's just, I guess, luck, I guess. We were the only ones there at school where we went to the high school, middle school too.
Yeah.
The middle school was the same, but only there 1 year. He's 2 years older than me, so 2 grades ahead of me. So he was there 8th grade when I was there 6th grade, kitty, young, 11 maybe. So high school, we were there 2 years.
Mhm.
Right. So my freshman year, sophomore year, and his junior year, senior year. Yeah, I guess because we were the only that was, and we have very similar family dynamics at home. We just liked each other, and it's like his kid.
So you have 2 kiddos and they are both hearing. So tell me about that. Was it a shock to find out they were hearing? And I guess tell me about the challenges and maybe the benefits of being a deaf parent to hearing kids.
Benefits, disadvantages.
It goes both ways.
Both ways. The advantages is that I wear my earplugs, and I know many parents wish I have had this ability. My kids, there's 7 now, and they're twins, so they're they play with the same stuff and they fight over the same stuff and they just pick on each other and they scream all day long, especially the past year. I stay home with them all day long, drive me crazy. So what I do, I just bless all. I just take them off.
That's also a disadvantage because when they are fighting and arguing, they come complaining, he did this, she did that. You don't know, you didn't hear it. You don't know who's at fault.
Well, that also happens when I'm on. I mean, they're talking so fast, I can't follow what they're saying. I don't know what happened. My mom, she lives right next door. She's with them a lot, and she does hear their conversation. What I can't follow. That's a disadvantage.
Right.
There are many more, but generally, there's a big two of them. Do I think only one? The advantage is that I can scold them in public. No one will know I'm staying. I get to, and I don't have to say anything. No one would know what we're talking about. So I have to take them out of the room. So that's nice. Their disadvantage. My daughter, she's more really. So she was staying with me while I'm at home. I prefer no A-plants because it's quiet and my A-plants right now, they hail my ears and I'm getting older, that hurt my ears. So I prefer off while I'm here at home. And we all know, sign language. So, but my daughter, she's really just staying with me, but she stuck with the baby size stairway. Made up and not clear, but we're getting there. And my son, he refuses more than half the time. It's very frustrating. Where I'm her, it's very common, so I'm just deal with it and just keep on trying.
One of the questions about having hearing children with deaf parents, have your kids experienced any language delays?
No.
So I'm going to jump over to one of the questions from a parent. So this goes back to school. What is a support that you had in place or wish you had in place when you were going through school? Were you mainstreamed or did you attend a school for the deaf?
Oh, mainstream. Used on the oils.
My parents, briefly, to sum it really quick, my parents were told by the Lexington Hearing and Speech Center to either let me learn sign or be oral only. And they chose to make me oral only. So the support I had was IEPs. I had a deaf itinerant teacher, and that was, sometimes I got a note taker, but not very often. That was all the support I got.
Well, you had the FM system.
Yeah,
early.
FM already said that.
Oh, you did?
Right? I think I did. Anyways, yeah.
My similar, but I was not very oral. I completely lost my hearing when I was 3. So ear aids didn't work for me. He has some hearing, but more back then, right?
Yeah, more back then.
Yeah, so he was hard of hearing. But I'm completely deaf at 3, so I needed more than just oral class. So I was in STEMCOM class. I had speech therapy plus using sign language.
I had speech therapy too. I forgot that. Yeah.
So I had speech therapy, started preschool. They're the same school. The lesson to hear speech therapy. So I did that from 11 months until I started kindergarten or first grade. And now I went to a deaf program for elementary school years. So kindergarten to 5th grade, I had class with other deaf kids, not with him. It was different. So there we had a teacher that knew sign language and talk with the deaf, and she had, the knowledge how to teach deaf kids. It was different for each child, each student had their own needs, and she met each individually, so that was nice. And we had interpreters. Sometimes we go into other classes with their kids, and we have an interpreter to go with us. So that was elementary. For middle school and high school, I asked to separate from that program and go on my own. And so I went to the middle school with just one interpreter, and she followed me around all day, every day, until high school. And then high school, I had a different one with the same story. And also like IEP, made sure I have TV with captioning to show videos in class. Yeah. Speech therapy kept on going until somewhere in high school.
Another question from a parent. Did you have a lot of friends in school? This parent says, I always worry that my daughter will have a hard time making friends. She starts kindergarten next year.
Oh.
Yes, I had a lot of friends in school. Most of them were actually in my home area. They live in a few blocks within me. So yes, I have several friends.
Well, I had some friends that didn't live in the same neighborhood, but we shared the same group of friends. No problem.
Was that a mix of hearing deaf friends at home?
No. All my friends were hearing. I did have friends at the deaf school in Dayville later in high school when I started driving. And I met through KF and all that. But at my school, no, they're all hearing.
Same. I didn't really know didn't have any other deaf friends until mid-high school, something like that.
So a similar question, and this is something that personally I struggle with, is did you ever feel isolated as a child, and what would you change, if anything?
I can go ahead while you think. I did not feel isolated as much because my mom and dad always tried to keep me involved. They were very good. If something funny was going on, I didn't understand it, they would be happy to relay that message to me. They kept me involved. When it comes to being on my own with other peers, sometimes I felt isolated, but most of the times I did not.
Unfortunately, I didn't have the same story. I was born very independent. I don't know if that has something to do with it, but my mom admitted to me, she felt like I could understand, I could follow the conversation was going on. No, when I was little, I like to sit in a room and watch people watching. And if they would laugh, I'll laugh too. I would laugh very easily when I was a kid. Maybe even today. No, not anymore. No, I'm kids now. So when they would laugh, I would laugh too. So it looked like I was able to follow the conversation. So I guess I was bullied them. I didn't realize it. I didn't know. And it went on for years and years. Yes, very isolated. Very, very isolated. Only my mom knew some home size. My brothers knew size until my oldest one left in the Navy. He's 7 years older than me, so he left when I was 10, 11. My younger brother and are a lot closer. He's a year younger than me. So he's really the only one I can really communicate and share stories and fool around with. But when you're young, sometimes your brother's on the way, you don't want to be with him. So I'm left with nobody. My parents, I love them. They had great intentions, but what can I do to change? That was a hard question. When I was a kid, I didn't know how to be aggressive or more assertive to say, hey, talk to me. Or I didn't know how, really, I didn't, it's a hard question to get a child. They don't know what they're supposed to do. I thought maybe that was the way I was supposed to be. That's the way I was supposed to behave. And I'll ask my mom, what do you love you about? She said, I'll tell you later. I'll tell you later. So I will wait until later. What do you laugh about? I forgot. So it's just, I don't know. It's hard. It's very hard. His parents are very, very inclusive. When I started dating him, I felt like a new family. I knew more about his family more than my own. So it's just, I guess it depends on who you with.
So, what is one thing that you wish that all parents with deaf and hard of hearing kids knew or did for their kids?
One? Only one?
No.
Okay. Well, one is they're all different. They all have different needs. They all have different wants and likes and don't like and blah. They're all different. And two, whatever you decide how to communicate with them, please include them. Not that hard. It's a lot more work, yes, but it's your child.
Every child is different. What works for me doesn't work for her, may not work for her. So that's something you keep in mind. Everyone is a unique individual. And listen to them. If they say they don't like an FM device like I did, just listen to them. Maybe they have a valid reason for it.
Yeah, I know it's hard to try to figure out what your child really needs because they will say, oh, I like this broccoli today, and then tomorrow, no, I don't like it. I know that, but still you have to try. If they don't like it one day, fun. The next day they like it fun, and the third day they don't like it fun. Just deal with it and keep up with it. And it's a lot of work, but just keep up with it until you find your pattern and what works for that child may not work one day, but it doesn't say, hey, you have something.
How has your family helped you become successful as an adult today? What positives did you get from your family growing up?
My family, the decision to be oral, them helping, keeping me included in family gatherings, whatever, all of that has helped me to I'm not communicating well right now, but to help me communicate better in the world out there, in my job, everyone is hearing, and mainstream school, everyone was hearing, all my friends were hearing. I didn't have a deaf friend until her. So all of that has helped me to be successful.
My mom, well, both my parents, but really my mom was more involved with my raising. She treated me the same as my brothers. My brothers are hearing. She didn't treat me any different. My younger brother had some reading issues. He has a disorder with his reading. Anyway, she worked with him while I just sat there and watched. My older brother has his own issues, and my mom was involved both my parents were involved with him a lot. So I did feel left out, or I did feel like I was a special one, not that I felt the same. Like I said before, I'm born very independent. And my mom, thank you. She let me be. I'm happier if I do my own thing. This is the way I am. When I set my mind to something, I'm doing it. I don't care what you say. And my mom let me. She let me grow on my terms. That was awesome. And even though I'm not working full time today, I have rich experience in a lot of things. I went to college. It was not what exactly I wanted, but hey, my person is very rounded, and it has a lot to do with my parents and the teacher that she works closely with. And
All right. The next question is from a parent. They say, with limited extended family support, any tips on how to make sure that your child feels included? Says, I try and explain and repeat what is being said, but that's hard to do with so many conversations happening at once.
camps. Take them to different kinds of schools, oil school or the deaf school, or mainstream with many deaf students. And you might be surprised to find a group that your child likes the most, and get involved with them, do different sports with them. There are really many different camps and deaf groups. They're not all the same, no. There are many. There are to each own types of hearing loss or their own types of lifestyle. And just look for maybe Facebook or contact maybe KCDHH. No, I'm not sure. Just contact that big deaf organization. They will help you find the people that you want to be with.
What about, sorry.
No comment.
Okay. What about including children in extended family events? I know that can be a really hard thing to do when you've got a lot of family around. And I know that's kind of a sticking point for a lot of my deaf friends, that, you know, that they had bad experiences growing up. So what can we do as parents to help include our kids when you're in a group of family with lots of hearing people?
Tell them what's going on.
Be straightforward with your family. Tell them the truth. Say, hey, my child is deaf. She can't read lips or something like that. Please, work with that child. But have the parents tell their own family to, understand she wants to be involved as much as anyone else. You just need to put in a little bit more patience, a little bit of work, and it goes a long way. You just have to be straightforward with everyone and tell them what your child needs.
So what do you all do for jobs? This is kind of a 3-part question. What do you do for jobs? When did you begin in the workforce? And have you had any issues getting communication access when you went into the workforce?
Let me go first. I'm a mechanical engineer, and I started working in 2009. Yes, I struggled with communication initially. Some people mumble. At the same time, myself was not confident in telling my coworkers, please look at me when you talk to me. I need to read your lips, all that. So initially, I was very shy. But the more I got got to work with those people, the more comfortable I became, the more I was willing to say, I didn't understand you, please repeat that question, things like that. It's now evolved to now I have people from Germany come over, people from Italy come over, and the first thing I say when I meet those people, I've never met them before, email, nothing. I just straightforward tell them, you may find me reading your lips a lot because I'm deaf. So I would like for you to look at me when you talk to me, please. You know, you may find that I ask them to repeat all that. And I've made wonderful working relationships with everyone ever since.
He made many friends outside work. They go do the boy stuff. So he has good friends there. Me. Right now, I'm only part-time. I'm the admin for different organizations. It's like dealing with websites, emails, communication between the board and the members and different communities. I do that for two, I'm sorry. And then I'm also, it's not like it's a job, I guess. I help with that office, catch up with their reports, their invoicing, yada, yada, yada. So I work with that right now. But I went to college for a biotechnology degree, and I thought I would be working in a lab before I worked in a research lab, but money is not guaranteed. Most of them are grants. So when the grant money is out and if the professor doesn't get another one, I'm out. It's just typical of the job, which is the nature of it. So I worked in research labs.
They're frozen.
2-3 years. Not
Continuously?
yeah.
Okay.
For 3 years now, but it was like here, 1 year, 2 years here, and then 1 year the other way. No, maybe 5 years. I don't know. Anyway, and then I had kids, and we decided because I had two at the same time that it would be cheaper for me to stay home, and so I stayed home until my kids started kindergarten, and so I looked for a laptop, but we moved out of Lexington, and we live in a smaller town. So I thought, I don't know, we'll find something. Well, I found a state lab job right here. It's really nice. So I got that job November 2019. Now worked until the COVID took way too long, and I decided, no, I'm going back home. And it was while I was on a leave with the COVID, I found those jobs. So I thought, that's what I did. So I left December from last year, December 2020. So I guess I'm all over the place.
Matt, what made you decide to become an engineer?
Growing up, I always liked to work on things. I was always wrenching on something. I had a bicycle, I took it apart, put it back together. My mom had a vacuum cleaner, I'd take it apart, put it back together. I like just taking apart things, putting them back together. My dad's a mechanical engineer. My brother's a mechanical engineer. And no, not my grandpa, no.
Oh.
He was a machinist.
Oh.
My brother and I work in the same company. And we also work where my dad used to work. But
Family.
I like mechanical things. It's just that kind of information just made sense to me. I enjoy it. So I love my job. So
You should see his Legos collection from his childhood.
Maybe my kids will be engineers then.
I won't be surprised.
What is your hardest struggle as a deaf person, and what is your greatest accomplishment? Those are some big questions. So that came from a parent. So
Yeah. I can't think of the biggest. As a parent, me as a mom, no, there's not really a big struggle at all. I think my biggest struggle as a deaf person was college. That was what they said. College was,
And you didn't really,
yeah,
the environment was,
yeah,
yeah.
I went to school in New York, RIT. And in college, you're supposed to discover yourself and have the best 4 years of your life. Ooh, well, I didn't have that experience. So I struggle a lot with that. And I went to UK and I did graduate on that, but I never really truly discovered myself. And I know my hearing loss has a lot to do with it. Not completely no, but had a big part of it. So that was my biggest struggle.
My biggest struggle was accepting myself
Yeah.
as a deaf person, being confident in myself to communicate to strangers. I'm deaf, please look at me when you talk to me. I was very shy, very embarrassed to say that to anyone. Now I'm not. Now just right off the bat, I tell them. And that was my biggest struggle. Previously, my biggest accomplishment was going to college and graduating.
Yeah.
My parents, I jumped around after high school for a few years before I actually committed to college. So they didn't think I was in it, wanted to graduate. They thought I just wanted to go somewhere, other location, another place. Went to Pittsburgh, I went to RIT. So anyways, it was against their wishes. I went to RIT against their wishes and I graduated and I persevered. And it was a big accomplishment for me. And then now my biggest accomplishment is being confident in myself.
My biggest accomplishment, my babies, my kids. I don't know. Not really as a deaf person. Oh gosh, I don't know.
I'd say you
Maybe,
count.
maybe my biggest get a little tired. I think it's the person I've turned into now as an adult. I see my deaf friends and my hearing friends who are part of the deaf community, and I used to be on Facebook a lot with cochlear implant groups, and I meet so many different kinds of deaf people, and that, not college, unfortunately, but that helped me develop into who I am. I know who I am and what I want and who I am as a person, that person or me, not associating my hearing loss, but my, I guess what I'm trying to say, I finally found who I am, truly am, and I don't let other people tell me otherwise.
That is awesome. One of the questions for you, Matt, how did you get to the point where you were more comfortable advocating for yourself?
The more I was shy and embarrassed to tell people, the harder it was for me. I was making it harder on myself, not telling people. Like, so I realized it just took a few baby steps to tell some people at work, hey, new people come in to work. And the new guy starts talking to me and I say, hey, I'm sorry, I'm deaf. I need you to look at me when you talk to me, things like that. And I did that. One guy, it's like one of his first days there, he started talking to me and he's looking this way and I'm over here and he's looking this way and he's talking the whole time. And I tried to say, hey, no, you need to look at me when you talk to me, please. And we actually have become very good friends now. And it turned out he did that because he himself was embarrassed about his haircut. He said he did a bad job. And he didn't want to show people his bad haircut. So we laugh about that all the time now. And that was the start of it, telling coworkers, and then now just new people. It's a lot easier to tell the new people, whether they're from out of the company or in the company, just say, no, I'm deaf. Please look at me when you talk to me. And it's just that easy now.
I thought your friend Justin helped
Not with
start.
more on the same part than, yeah.
So one of the things you kind of talked a little bit about, I've heard the term hearing anxiety. Do you ever experience that when you are around hearing people? Do you get nervous when you're in a group of hearing people?
Used to.
Depends on the situation. Yeah, it really depends on the situation. My family, no. But like job interview, that is the biggest one because I'm not sure if they will see me weird, or something's wrong with me, or that's my exciting because I want the job or I want to show that I'm a good worker. I have the experience to what, but I sound a little bit off or I sign or something. But out in public. Foreigners. They maybe live here in America, but they are naturally from another country. They have a deep accent. Yes, I'm a bit excited about that. And I'll have to say, I'm sorry, what you say? I would never understand. Can you write that down? Yeah, I did that. Yeah, it's okay.
So I think that kind of goes both ways because I know like before my son was born, I had never met a deaf person. So the first time I remember meeting a deaf person, I remember being extremely nervous because I wanted to be able to communicate and I was not confident in myself. So what advice would you give to a hearing parent who wanted to maybe approach a deaf adult and start a conversation?
Go ahead and ask a question. We don't bite. There are some deaf people, they are not friendly or they're not really. That's true. But I think that's true for anybody, any kind of people. So just go up to say, hey, where you from? Or hey, I see you have nice pants. Or I don't know. Just ask them a question. Start the conversation.
Nothing to add to that.
At what point did you learn ASL? And because you both mentioned that you were taught orally at first. So at what point did you learn ASL?
I learned some sign when I met her, but I didn't really engulf myself into sign until I went to RIT and met my best friend, Justin. He also likes mechanical stuff. We worked on a lot of mechanical things together. He himself is a mechanical engineer, something like that. It's a unique engineering degree. Anyways, we had a lot of similar interests, and he had a lot of, we willing to work with me, and I really learned sign through him. Unfortunately, not from her. I don't know why.
Bad teacher. I started when I was 3. Yeah. I know I started school 11 months, but my hearing was until I was 3. So I'll have to ask my mom, when did she move me to total? Yeah, I can't remember the names of the class. We're with total sign, but with speech therapy, yada yada, but not in oral. I think she did start me in oral when I was just first starting, but not very long. I was 3 when I started signing. I don't remember learning.
This is, I'm sorry, I'm an echo. This is a question from a parent. I realize all kids are different, but for you, what discipline growing up was most helpful for you? Or did you hear from your parents worked best? My son tends to throw his CIs off and refuse to look at us when he's in trouble, or just screams with a shrill to not listen. It's hard disciplining a kid that actually has an option on hearing you.
I think you discipline just as same as any other kids. I mean, I told you before, my mom treated me the same as my brothers. So
My parents did treat me a little differently from my brother. I wanted to play football. I couldn't be there, things like that. The discipline, I think we were disciplined the same way.
come here.
Aw.
It's our son, Will.
Hey,
Say
Will.
hi.
What do you think about this, Will?
What is this?
We're explaining about our life as a dead person.
All right, so I have a
Our
question.
experience and all
And
that.
since Will is
Yeah,
there.
how we went to school and how do we deal with different life situations, and they talked about you too.
Mhm.
What's it like to have hearing kids? And I said, you fight with your sister all day long, every day.
Come here, come here.
One of the questions
down,
parents
put it
asked
down.
was, how did you know your kids were crying
Kitty.
when they were babies and you were sleeping?
Well, at first I thought I did wear my implants. And when they were babies, I did wear my implants so I could hear them while they were crying. But when I was sleeping, I have this alarm that shook my bed. So with them, well, is it really shake on baby cries or a little bit any noise that was loud enough? And I had this vibrator. So
Very cool. Do we have
My
any
baby girl.
other parent questions? So we only have about 10 minutes left. Let's see what I have that I have not asked. Maybe I should
Why
ask
does it
Claire.
say DHH super?
She's so good at computer stuff. Change the background. She's so good.
Because your parents are superheroes. Did you know that?
No. Mom, you're a superhero? Are you Spider-Man? Fast
No.
hand signing, and it's like fast. Spider-Girl?
Your mom's
I'm
superpower
Spider-Girl.
is task
Are
signing.
you Captain Man? Are you Batman?
No, I'm Perseverance. That's my name.
For what?
I think they have questions for us. So can you go out and play? Go play.
No,
Give us-
no.
Give it 10 minutes, okay? Come on.
I'm going to share the cards one more time. So any of the parents who have commented will receive the 2 cards from Valegro and Perseverance. We will mail them to you so you can start your collection of your DHH superhero cards. So I'm going to check one more time for questions, and I'm going to look back through here. We got through a lot more questions tonight than I thought. You guys have been awesome. Thank you all so much. So I know we talked a little bit earlier about the best advice for parents to include their kids, but just in general, what advice do you have for parents out there who may be, raising their kids who are deaf or hard of hearing, and they're just unsure about themselves, or they're second guessing or questioning the decisions they make, or if they're doing everything right? I know just as a parent of a typical hearing child, we can question ourselves as parents, but especially when your child has extra needs, it's definitely something in the back of my mind all the time. Like, am I doing enough? What advice do you have for parents as far as that?
Everyone wants to fit in. And at the same time, everyone's different. So you just have to be patient and willing to try things. If they don't work out, try something else. You find the things that work and stick with it. Don't give up and say, oh, that worked, and you need to stick with it. And just ultimately be very patient and very willing.
You have to remember every person, not only the deaf child, but everyone is their own person. Respect that. Probably because my independence, I demand people to know me as me. I'm not your deaf special child. No. I'm me. That's it. So yeah, it's very important that you see your child as what they are. Don't let their disabilities define who they are. Don't be what you say.
You should do everything possible to mitigate and reduce what feels like a disability. I don't think it needs to be considered a disability sometimes. You should try to make them fit in. Do your best.
Yeah. I mean, if they can't be the same as you, same as me, same as him. I mean, we have no hearing, sure, but we can still live a very, very normal lives. Like you said, just have to work with that child, see what works with that kid. Does he even need a disability to have different needs? So, like my hearing brothers, they have different needs that they have no disability. So don't freak out. Just stay. He'll be all right. He'll be fine. Just live one day at a time, and your child will be all right.
We have a lot more technology, a lot more
Oh,
things
yes.
available today
Oh yes.
than 30 years ago when we were kids. It should be a lot easier now. I'm sure it is.
Yeah. You're lucky.
What is one thing that makes you proud to be a deaf adult?
I met her.
I actually don't like being deaf adult. I prefer to be blind. So, I mean, I guess, like I said before, my big accomplishment is that it makes I know who I am, and my hearing loss obviously has some part of it. But I'm not proud to be a deaf adult. I'm just me. Has nothing to do with my hearing loss.
No more.
No more.
No more, Matt. Do I have any more? I'm gonna look through real quick and see if I have any more parent questions. No, I think that is all. Do you have anything? Oh, somebody is asking Jenna, when did you get your CIs?
My right here 6, and my left here 29, 30.
I can't remember.
I think I was 29.
What about you, Matt? What do you wear any technology?
I have hearing aids in both ears. I used to wear one in my left ear only, and now I wear both hearing aids.
All
When
right.
I only had my right, I had nothing in my left.
I'll ask you, Jenna, then when you didn't have anything for several years and then you got your cochlear implant when you were a little older, did it was it successful on that ear? Do you hear as well in your left as you do your right?
No, it's not the same. No, it's not the same. I had to train. Well, now remember, I was 29, not 5. So I had to train my brain how to hear different sounds, and both sides of the brain sounded different. But over time, I hear it's more like before when my right ear it was 2D, and now with both ears I'm 3D. I have the same hearing, my right ear all the time, and then plus my left ear is like much more 3D, it's more defined, more. It's really neat.
And you mentioned before, sorry, the echo's not. You mentioned before that you don't like to wear your cochlear implants at home, but when do you like to wear your cochlear implants? What circumstances would you use those?
When I'm interacting with my dear friends or work, like today I was working at horse park, and of course everyone is talking, so I need to be able to communicate with them.
All right. Well, we are down to 3 minutes. So I think we are going to go ahead and wrap up for the night. I want to say thank you all. And if you don't, oh, I'm doing something weird on my computer. If you don't know ASL, this is thank you. So everybody tell Jenna and Matt tonight, thank you. We will be having DHH Power Hours with different DHH heroes every month on the 3rd Tuesday of the month from 7:30 to 8:30, and that is Eastern time. So tune in next month and get, collecting on those cards so you can get 2 more next time. We're also having our superhero 5K in Richmond on May 29th, and that is in person, and some of our DHH heroes will be there live in person. So if you can come out and meet them, that would be wonderful. You can sign up for that race on our Facebook page. I think there's a link on the website too. And I just wanted to again tell Matt and Jenna, thanks for sharing with us tonight, and hope to see you guys again next week for our 2nd episode of the DHH Power Hour. You will have a good night.